Round number 3.
Chance and risk getting knocked out. Oh my God! Wow!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ryan Bader. Let me rephrase that. It's Ryan Darth Bader. Yeah, that's his name, Darth. I guess he's a big Star Wars fan. Taking on the last Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko. Who would have thought I would be saying that in 2019? In 2006, very likely. In 2012, possible. In 2008, more likely we're talking about Fedor. But Fedor's the kind of guy who just seems to not want to go away. He's signed with Bellator. He's been moving on in the tournament. He came to Bellator, lost his first matchup against Matt Mitrione, and then went on to make it all the way to the finals in the Bellator heavyweight tournament. And he's taking on the light heavyweight champion of the world, Ryan Bader. And what should be an exciting matchup that is taking place on January the 26th from the Forum in Inglewood, California. This is going to be a fun match. This is past versus present. This is future versus legend. This is a kind of matchup that dreams are made for. These are the kind of matchup, if you're Ryan Bader, you're excited. You got those butterflies going and you cannot wait to have this fight. Who would have thunk it? All these years later, now here we are. Fedor Emelianenko is looking to reclaim his rightful claim to being the greatest heavyweight of all time. He was arguably considered the greatest heavyweight of all time when he dominated in Pride, went on to dominate in Elite XC, and did fairly well in, Strikeforce. Did fairly well in Strikeforce before suffering his first defeat in a long time to Fabricio Verdum. Followed that up against Bigfoot Silva, another loss. And then had a career where it was just bouncing around all over the place, where you didn't know if he was going to win or where he was in his career, if he was even motivated to fight anymore. But Fedor looks ready to go nowadays. He looks like he's back to the Fedor, the last Emperor. He's back to putting people asleep. He's back to putting people out. He's not had an easy road to get to the finals of this tournament, and neither has Ryan Bader. Bader, though, on the other hand, is a pretty small fellow coming into this division. And at the same time, Fedor is also pretty small, too. He weighs in around about 220, I think, Fedor. While Ryan Bader is a natural, well, not a natural, but he does fight at 205-pound division and is about a natural 225, 215-pounder. So both these guys are fairly small. So to see Ryan Bader get a fairly easy victory over the likes of Matt Mitrione earlier on this year, earlier on last year, was actually quite surprising. To see him even pick up an easy victory over the likes of King Mo was another surprise. We didn't think he would knock him out in the fashion that he did, and even in about 40 seconds. Who would have seen that coming? Fedor, he went on to defeat Frank Mir, who was outweighing him by quite a bit, but Frank Mir, we could argue, is he is at the tail end of his career. He then also went on to defeat Chael Sonnen with quite ease, in a fight where he just had Chael rocked all over the place. If you want to look at the rankings and at the tournament bracket, you can argue, yes, both men, you could argue, yes, Ryan Bader had the tougher task to get to the finals. Fedor's tests were fairly easy, nothing too crazy. He fought guys that people believed he should have been able to defeat to begin with. So it's nothing fairly out of reach that this is the finals that we're getting. But what makes it interesting now is we're going to have a wrestler taking on a Sambo fighter. We saw what Fedor was able to do with Chael Sonnen's wrestling. He was able to toss him around, reverse any attempt that he had. What do you do now when you're taking on a guy who is a elite level wrestler? And I'm going to go as far as to say he's a better wrestler than Chael. That's just honest. Ryan Bader's the champion of the division. Chael's never had a title. He's basically been the bridesmaid, hoping to get married one day. So Ryan Bader's going to have a tough task in trying to use his wrestling to his advantage. Bader's going to be using his Sambo to reverse the momentum and throw Ryan on the floor. Look, this is a big matchup for Bellator. This is an interesting matchup for Bellator. This is their fight on January 26th to kick off their new year of 2019. This is going to crown a new champion. The winner of this is going to have, it's just going to be an open field. It's just going to be, he's going to have a target on his back. And if it's Fedor, he is going to have a massive target on his back, because people are going to now kind of be coming to take out the last Emperor, to officially finally close the casket on the GOAT. People want to put him away. And if it's Ryan Bader, what an accomplishment. 2-division champion, a man that was let go by the UFC, went on to form his own path and claim his own titles in Bellator. Ryan Bader deserves to be in the UFC to begin with. Ryan Bader should be in any organization he wants. Look, you can argue his last fight was boring against Matt Mitchell, but he did his job. He took him to the ground and he won. At the end of the day, a stand-up battle could be boring as a ground game could be boring. But that's not the point. That's not Ryan Bader's fault. It's Matt Mitchell's responsibility to be an all-around fighter and able to stop the takedowns. If I'm better at you at one thing, I'm going to exploit what your weakness is. It only makes sense. So for you people to get all up in arms, like, oh, that fight wasn't exciting. Look, it only makes sense. There's a ton of boring basketball games out there. There's a ton of boring football games, soccer games. Almost every soccer game, actually. There's a ton of boring hockey games out there. There's a ton of sports that have their moments that it's just not that exciting as you wanted it to be. This fight between Bader and Fedor, it's not going to be like the Matt Mitchell fight. This is going to be two guys looking to claim the title, and it is going to be exciting. I cannot wait for this fight on January the 26th. I cannot even wait to break down this card when it comes time to do it. All I wanted to really discuss about this fight is how they're both kind of evenly matched, how one's looking to reclaim his former glory, and how one is looking to make a path as two-division champion and the first ever two-division champion of the Bellator organization. This is something huge to claim, and this is something that Ryan Bader will be, if he does accomplish, will be getting all the attention. This is a matchup that makes sense and is coming at the right time, where it's past versus present, it's legend versus future Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you as always for tuning in for 3 Rounds with Jay. This was January the 8th, 2019 edition of 3 Rounds with Jay. I hope you had yourselves a good time. As always, please don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends. Hell, give me a like if you do like it. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. I can't stop you from doing that. As always, the links to my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at the bottom. Maybe one day I'll get Snapchat, but I really don't see a purpose of it. I'm being honest, I don't know what the hell you do with Snapchat. It's all at the bottom if you want to follow, send a shout out, send a like, want to talk, want to discuss, want to talk some fights, or want to talk some movies, whatever it is you want to talk. You want to talk politics, or even talk Donald Trump, or talk about what's going on in Canada, or talk about pot. I don't give a damn what you want to talk about. The links are at the bottom. Send me a shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see y'all next week. Keep it easy, keep it sleazy. This was 3 Rounds with Jay. Peace.